Here we are again at the beautiful Billesley Manor, day 2 of the board meetings. We had the MFOP board meeting yesterday, we've got the ARLA board meeting today, and there's so much to discuss. And one of the things I wanted to talk to you guys is, what's your biggest challenge? Is it the increased legislation? Is it the tenant fee ban? Is it the rise of the different style of competition that's coming through? Is it the landlord taxation? Whatever it is, there's some pretty huge stuff out there right now. And if you just look at legislation alone, there is so much that we've had to deal with over the last few years. And if you look particularly at the last 3-4 years, we've had more than we've had in years, in fact. If you go back to what we did 20 years ago, I think we pretty much didn't do a lot in comparison to what we do now. If you think about it, a tenancy agreement, very basic inventory. We didn't do credit references, they didn't really exist 20 years ago. It was quite simple. Whereas you look at what we have to do now, it's phenomenal. I mean, on my checklist at our office, we actually have 56 different things that have to be ticked off just after a tenant has moved in. That's before the setup beforehand. So it's absolutely phenomenal on the compliance, on making sure that everything's done exactly as it is. As letting agents, we're expected to know all of that. Ignorance is not a defence. We've got to get it right, and we've got to get it right thousands of times on every single transaction. So that's the big challenge right now for many, many letting agents. I mean, I've been a member of ARLA since 1993, and one of the great things about ARLA is it's helped me put those compliance structures in, know what the law is, know how to deal with this, that and the other. It's been absolutely great, and I'll always be thankful to ARLA for that. And over 24 years, it's been a bit like my lettings parent almost, you know. It's been the person that's really sort of helped me through it and make sure I've put it in place. So who do you go to? Do you have a legal advisor? Are you members of ARLA? Do you have people that support you? Because do you know what, it's too much for one person. It really is. And I've got a team of 45 people, compliance director. I have ARLA and the board meetings that I attend, but I also subscribe to 2 solicitors as well, which give me full top-end legal helpline as well. Who do you use? Because the thing is, in courts now, ignorance is not a defence. So to say I didn't know is not a defence. We've got to know. There's over 150 pieces of legislation that as letting agents we have to adhere to keep our landlords safe and to keep our tenants safe. And look what happens when it goes wrong. Disaster strikes. There's been some pretty horrific examples recently in the press. So it really is about making sure that we get everything right. The safety elements, the legal elements, absolutely everything. And only when we do that can we be sure that we're safe as a business, because it's in protecting our clients we protect ourselves. So just wanted to have a little bit of focus today on legislation, the beautiful surroundings that is the Billesley Manor. I'm off to Arbon House in a minute for the board meeting. We don't have the board meetings here, we have those at Arbon House, which is ARLA and NAA's headquarters just down the road. So I'll be checking off now, but just have a think about that. What are you doing about the compliance? What is your plan moving forward for legislation? Who are you going to for advice? Where do you get help from? And if I could say one thing, it's too much for one person to do on their own, and not changing and not embracing the new legislations and just ignoring it is not an answer. Ultimately, you will lose out. So just make a comment below and tell me what you think. See you soon. Bye.